Hey everyone, Parallel here. Welcome back to Star Trek Online. This video is going to be a review of the new Agony Phaser Energy Torpedo. This is actually a very exciting torpedo, as this is the first energy torpedo we've been able to get that is of the phaser damage type. So this will be great for all of you phaser users out there. This energy torpedo is actually the reward from the recent Mirror Universe event. So I'll quickly talk about how you can actually go about getting this torpedo, but after that we will take a look at the stats of the torpedo, maybe compare it to some of the other energy torpedoes out there, like the crystalline energy torpedo, and then take this weapon into combat and see how it actually performs, maybe do like an Argala patrol and Red Alert, and just get a feel for how the weapon performs, and also take a look at the weapon's visuals. So let's first start out, just for those who are wondering how to acquire this torpedo, you actually have to get it from the May 2018 Mirror Universe event. As of the time that I'm uploading this video, this event is actually almost over. You can see it runs from May 10th to May 31st. So it's actually almost over. Like normal, you have to participate in this event once a day for 14 days to be able to collect the tokens you need to complete the project that will unlock this torpedo. If you are watching this video right after it goes online, just a quick tip: if you haven't started the event yet, at least make sure you slot the project. So go into your reputation projects and make sure you slot this project to collect the Mirror Universe Invasion event or rewards. So if you select it here, so if you slot this project, even if you can't finish it this time around, the next time the event returns, you'll be able to collect the multi-dimensional transporters and then slot them into this project and be able to complete it then. So I do recommend doing that, just if you are missed out. If not, if you have been grinding the event each day for the last 14 days, you should have unlocked this within the last few days. I unlocked mine yesterday, and I'm just now getting a chance to check it out. So quite exciting here. I want to see how this torpedo actually does. It's always great to get a new energy torpedo. So you can actually see it, just for those who are curious. I actually have an old project slotted here for the ISS Study Admiralty card that I never completed. So once you slot a project, it's there forever. I mean, this project has been slotted for like 2 years now. Never did finish this project. At this point, I'm just hoping that the study gets added to the Phoenix lockbox. So that will probably be right away. But yeah, just make sure to slot the project so you can at least finish it the next time the Mirror Universe event comes around. Otherwise, there's really no way to get this torpedo. So there you go. That's what you need to do to get the torpedo. So let's take a look at the actual torpedo itself. I have it right here. Now, it is an account-wide unlock. I unlocked it. I actually did the event on a different character, and you can reclaim it on any character once you've unlocked it. Just go to the... you actually have to go to the dilithium store for this particular unlock, and go to the reclaim, and you will find it right down here, Mirror Universe Phaser Energy Torpedo. So that's how you can reclaim it. I don't know why it's not... For some events, you know, sometimes they'll go into the reputation store here, and you can do the account reclaim. This is for like the weekend events and stuff, or for the... here's the weekend event one, and then there's also the one for the seasonal events are here, and then you have the dilithium store reclaim. So it's kind of confusing, all these different reclaim locations, but for this one, it is in the dilithium store. All right, so let's take a look at the torpedo itself. Re-engineer. Wow, look at this. You can re-engineer it. That is pretty awesome. Okay, we'll do that in a minute, but I was actually curious if you could re-engineer it or not. But let's go ahead and just take a look at the details. So what do we got here? Unlike other torpedoes, the Phaser Agony Torpedo deals phaser damage, thus making it equally effective against both hull and shields. That is one of the cool things about energy torpedoes. Additionally, it has a high chance to inflict phaser damage over time and disable the target. What does that have, a dot effect? Phaser damage. And then phaser damage per second for 10 seconds ignores shields to target, 40% chance for disable. Does it actually disable all subsystems? 40% chance is pretty high. Not bad. Not bad at all. You can see here the stats, the modifiers, the perks that it comes with here. Definitely probably want to re-roll out of that accuracy and crit hit and get some more crit D and damage on here. That is pretty cool, though. I didn't realize it had a damage over time effect and a 40% chance for disable. That's kind of nice. All right, so that is what this torpedo can do. I'll take a look at the damage here after. I'm planning to upgrade it to max here out at Epic Mark 14. And then we'll compare it. I have the Crystalline Energy Torpedo right over here. We can do a quick comparison on the damage. I am going to be taking the easy way out here and using one of my Ultimate Tech upgrades. I have a few of these left. I was planning to save them until after the expansion comes out and we go up to Mark 15. But for science, I want to upgrade this now and actually give it a good test comparison. And I want to use it for the next couple weeks here and enjoy it before the expansion comes out, even though I realize it's kind of unfortunate that it won't, I'll be missing out on some tech points there, kind of wasting it. But, oh well, here we go. Let's go ahead and upgrade it. Let's go ahead and throw here the Ultimate Tech upgrade. And that should get it right to Mark 14 Epic. Alrighty, and here we go. Agony Phaser Energy Torpedo Launcher. Accuracy damage, accuracy crit, and then crit H2. Not the best mods, so you definitely want to re-engineer this, and I'm very glad that Cryptic did allow us to re-engineer it here. So let's go ahead and unlock this, and this for now. Now, hang on to those damage. Crit D is fine for now. You probably also want to re-engineer this one to... yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Let's re-get it to... oh, crit D damage. Hey, I got lucky. Okay, so we'll go with this for now. But I didn't think you could re-engineer... You can re-engineer all the energy torpedoes? Why did I not know this? That's awesome. I didn't realize you could do that. Alright, so here we got the Agony Phaser Energy Torpedo. So let's go ahead and compare the tooltip damage. So it's 3,895 compared to 4,657, but it does have the damage over time per second for 10 seconds. So that's going to add another, 750 damage to it. Still slightly less than the Crystalline. Probably because it has the disable. And I'm also curious if it has the same recharge time. So one of the things about energy torpedoes is that they have a longer recharge time than other torpedoes. I believe it's 12 seconds for the Crystalline. And also for the Nausicaan Disruptor Energy, I believe that's also 12 seconds. I'm assuming this will be the same, but we'll check that out once we get into space. So that's pretty cool. So that's the stats on the weapon here. Let's go ahead and slot it into our build. You can see this is my sort of Federation character where I focus mostly on, strictly Federation ships and phaser damage type. So this is kind of how this character is built, which is why I thought it'd be perfect for this character. You can see I actually have been using the Quantum Phase, which is, has a two-piece set with a console that gives phaser damage. But for now, let's go ahead and swap this Quantum Phase out for this bad boy, the Agony Phaser Energy Torpedo, and we will give it a try on this build. Probably would swap out this console here since the two-piece, not getting the advantage of the two-piece with the Quantum Phase Torpedo, but it'll be fine for now. And just in case anyone's interested, I'll quickly just tab through so you can see my build that I'm running here, what space traits I'm running. I am, of course, using supercharged weaponry, which works great with the energy torpedoes because they will be buffing your energy weapons. And you can see the traits that I'm using here as well. My build, I am of course using an Aux to Bat. This is sort of your typical Aux to Bat cold-hearted build, which is very, very nice combination. And for my duty officers, I am running the 3 technicians for the recharge time when you do aux to bat. I've got a fabrication engineer in here for the reverse shield polarity, which is nice. I do have one of the crit severity doffs, and then Agent Neural for the heal with attack pattern beta. And you can see here the bridge officer stations. So that's the build. Just wanted to quickly show that in case anyone's curious. I'm not going to go into huge detail here, but I mean the idea is that if you have a phaser energy build, this torpedo will slot right in, and then you could take advantage of all these, all the great traits like supercharged weaponry, and you could also use like controlled countermeasures. You could even slot maybe some torpedo damage abilities here in your reputation for some options, but yeah, so it's very easy to slot these energy torpedoes into your build. That's part of what makes them so great, is that for if you're not building like a kinetic full torp boat, then you just want to have just one torpedo here, then these energy torpedoes work great. All right, so let's go ahead and see this torpedo in action. I've not fired this torpedo yet, so I am very curious to see what it looks like visually and see how much damage it does. I'm curious how that damage over time works as well. Could be pretty cool. So let's first start out in Argala. I'll head over to the Delta Quadrant. So this is pretty great. Now we have a phaser energy torpedo. I think there's only a couple energy types that we're missing, right? I think we're missing. Is it Polaron? Yeah, I think we need a Polaron energy torpedo. And there is a Tetrion energy torpedo, but I think it's only in the low-buy store, which is kind of unfortunate. It'd be nice if they added an energy torpedo that was more acquirable to maybe a mission or something. But I think Plasma, is there a Plasma energy torpedo in the low-buy store as well? I'm not sure about that one. But, so it is good now that we have a phaser energy torpedo. So that just means more builds, more build options, and yeah, makes phasers even better, which are, phasers have a lot of good set bonuses. This would be great in like a cannon, if you had like cannons here. That'd be actually a really good build. I'd be tempted to try that out as well here in the future. But, all right, let's go ahead. Let me make sure, let me at least put it on advanced here so I don't just obliterate everything too quickly and then we can't actually see in progress. Yeah, let's make it advanced. All right, let's patrol Argala. Just a second here. I need to change that setting. All right. All right, let's give the Bentons a hand. Yeah, so this is going to be awesome. I'm very curious to see how this actually looks when it fires. Because the Crystalline Energy Torpedo is one of my favorite looking torpedoes in the game. It has a really great graphic. So I'll do a torp spread here, and here we go. They looked pretty awesome. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do here is turn off my other weapons, because I sort of killed it very quickly. But yeah, let's do the same here on these guys. And let's just take a look at the spread without all the phasers getting in the way.
Warning, ship is under attack.
Yes, I'm under attack. All right, here we go. Ready? I did fire all. I didn't know you to do that. These guys are actually hurting. It's because they're frickin' erosion. Very annoying. Okay, let's see if we can get a look. Okay, so there was a good look at it. They actually do have a little bit of a trail coming out, similar to the Crystalline Energy Torpedo. looks like they have a trail at the start, but then the contrails kind of disappear after they travel for a little while. And I haven't been looking at the refresh timer either. I was curious about that. Yeah, see, checked out. So yeah, it starts with a trail, and then by the time they actually get to the target, the contrail kind of fades away. That's a cool effect. They almost have a slightly more reddish color. Well, I guess they are kind of orange. I was thinking they were a little more reddish than the actual normal phasers, but they're still kind of orange color. Match pretty well with your normal phaser energy color. Gotta loot up, get all my salvage back that I just spent for rerolling. Okay, let's see if we can get a good spread here. Very cool looking torpedo, I like it. So visually quite impressive. I have to admit I haven't actually been looking at the damage numbers very much because I was more interested in the visual effect. We'll see if we can get a good torp spread here as well. Ready? There we go. Yeah, that's just really cool looking. Not really using my mini cooldown here. God, man, these freaking Rojan, man. Got their freaking sub nukes, and they've got all their debuffs, tractor beams. They're really annoying. Alright, so that is the first look at the torpedo. Definitely an awesome graphic. The particle effect is really impressive. Really, really nice looking. But I am actually still curious about the... I didn't really look at the damage numbers, and I wanted to see if I didn't have my kinetic cutting beam going there. But I also wanted to see the... let's head over to another patrol. So I want to actually see if I can gauge the damage over time effect. So we'll head over to Japori. Try to isolate the torpedo a little bit better and just take a look at the damage over time effect. Because the damage numbers are a bit lower than the other energy torpedoes, and I think it's meant to have that damage over time to make up for that. Let's go back to the beta quadrant. But yeah, this is awesome. It's really great to have a phaser energy torpedo to fit into all of your phaser builds. I know the Nausicaan energy torpedo is one of the very popular torpedoes out there. A lot of people love using that on their disruptor builds. And that one also, of course, has a very nice set bonus with the other Nausicaan weapons. Whereas this torpedo does not get a set bonus, but still I think it'll be very good for yeah, phaser builds. Okay, let's head into Japori. Okay, let's try this again. This time I won't do a fire all. But I will do a torp spread and buff up here. Give it a try. There we go. There's a nice look at it. So it's applying the debuff. You see there the damage over time. Taking away pretty decent. You can almost see like a little particle cloud effect when it hits the target as well. Yeah, definitely not as hard at hitting as the Disruptor Torpedo, but it does have that pretty good damage over time effect.
Shields failing.
And of course, energy torpedoes have the advantage of actually hitting the shields for full damage as well, which is actually really, really nice. Okay, I think that's enough taking a look at the graphics there. Let's go ahead and clear these guys out. So yeah, it looks to be an actual very nice torpedo. Should be a lot of fun to use. Up here.
Right shield failing. Target shield has failed. Hull integrity below 75%.
Yeah, this is a very cool torpedo. Visual effect is very satisfying. Yeah, so kudos to Cryptic. Actually, really excellent design on this torpedo. I'm liking it a lot. I wonder if there's some other ways to take advantage of that damage over time effect, with maybe like temporal spec or something. Alright, so that was a Japori, and let's do just a quick Borg Red Alert to round this out and give some final thoughts here on this torpedo. Yeah, just energy torpedoes in general are great. In case, I don't know, maybe there's some people out there who aren't familiar with why energy torpedoes are so nice for people who are not doing like a specialized torpedo build. No, I don't want to do crystalline. Let's do Borg. Let's do the Borg Red Alert. But yeah, if anyone's not familiar, if you know there's the main energy damage types in Star Trek Online. You've got your energy damage, you've got your kinetic damage, and you've got your exotic damage. Now within those, there's kind of other subcategories in there. Like there's all the different kinds of energy damage, like phaser, antiproton, prolaron, disruptor, tetryon. So you've got all those different types of energy damage. But for torpedoes, those all your normal torpedoes all do kinetic damage. Even if it's a plasma torpedo, it does kinetic. Crontorn torpedoes, photon torpedoes, they all do kinetic damage. And the kinetic damage is different from energy damage because it has a severe mitigation when it hits a shield facing. So unless the shields are down, the torpedo won't do full damage. Now, torpedo damage is generally very high, so if the shields are down and you hit the hull directly, that kinetic damage will go directly onto the hull and do excellent damage. And so that's always been the kind of the play style with normal torpedoes. They're using kinetic damage. But the downside of that is that if you're using an energy weapon build and you have all of your consoles and your build is all set up to buff energy damage, it's often not worthwhile to slot in that, slot a torpedo in that build, because that torpedo is not going to be benefiting from. It's not going to be benefiting from all of that, all of those energy damage consoles that you have. Those don't buff kinetic damage. I'm going to take that. I saw that coming a mile away. I was going to take that warp core breach. Right, so typically that's why people don't slot, you know, with you have a high-end energy build, you don't slot a kinetic torpedo in there because it doesn't benefit a lot from all of your, you know, energy weapon buffing consoles, like your tactical consoles and everything. All of those that buff energy damage just don't apply to those kinetic torpedoes. But energy torpedoes, on the other hand, are different. Those actually do benefit from the all of your consoles that buff energy weapon damage. So all of your tactical consoles and everything that are buffing up your energy weapons will also buff the energy torpedoes. So that's the main advantage of the energy torpedoes over the normal kinetic torpedoes. It makes them so easy to fit into, you know, even if you're not like building a lot of torpedo traits or anything along those lines, you can still easily make this. Let's go ahead and launch the But you could easily make these torpedoes work on your any normal energy build. Like if you just have beam arrays or even cannons, it's very easy to slot this torpedo in there and make it work. You don't have to swap out any of your consoles with like kinetic energy consoles. You don't have to swap out, you know, anything really. It's kind of a plug-and-play torpedo. And since there are some traits like the supercharged weapon trait that give you your energy weapons a buff when you launch a torpedo, that makes it excellent in this build because then the energy torpedo can trigger the trait and will give you a buff to all of your energy weapons, and your and the torpedo itself will be benefiting from all of your energy weapon buffing consoles. So it's just kind of a positive feedback loop there. So you can have, what do I want on this character? Let's get some, let's just go with competitive. So you could have, you know, a really solid build and have a torpedo going. And so that, it makes it feel more like an actual, you know, cannon, you know, like as in cannon is in this show, what you see on the show where you can actually have torpedoes and energy weapons working together and have a nice solid build. I remember, you know, honestly, when you would test these builds in the old days, when you just had kinetic torpedoes, you'd take a look at the parse after doing an ISA run, and you'd see that your kinetic torpedo is just not holding up, where it was actually a DPS loss to slot in those kinetic torpedoes because they would be doing less than what just slotting another beam array would do. But that's not the case with these energy torpedoes. They actually hold up very, very well in an ISA parse, or if you're actually going for, you know, high DPS. These energy torpedoes work great with these energy builds. It doesn't mean a DPS loss to slot one of these over having just another beam array. So that is basically the advantage of having these energy torpedoes. And for, you know, a long time, there was only the crystalline energy torpedo, which was the anti-proton damage type. And but finally, Cryptic has been releasing all of these energy torpedoes of the different energy types. So it makes it easier and easier to fit one into your build based on what energy type you like. So we've had, you know, now we've had the Nausicaan Disruptor energy torpedo for a long time. And then finally here we have the Phaser one. And like I said, there's also the Tetrion one in the low-buy store. And I think there may also be a Plasma one in the low-buy store. And then I guess the only one we really need at this point is the Polaron energy torpedo. And then we'll be all set. We'll have an energy torpedo for each type of damage. And I have to say, I'm kind of surprised that I was actually expecting with the new expansion coming out with the Gamma Quadrant reputation in it, I was actually really expecting that to be a Polaron energy torpedo in that reputation, since it would fit along with, you know, with the theme of the Dominion, and they all use Polarons. But what I'm seeing from Tribble, that the torpedo we're getting with the Gamma reputation is actually going to be a Chronoton, which is very, very odd. I was really fully expecting that to be a Polaron energy torpedo. But yeah, have faith. I'm sure at some point in the future here, one of the events coming up, there will be a Polaron energy torpedo. Cryptic has been slowly releasing one of each damage type, and that's the last one to go. So I'm sure that will be coming soon. But that would actually be really cool. I'd like to fit that into like a thematic Polaron build for the Dominion ships that are coming with the Victory's Life expansion. So that is very cool. So that is the new torpedo, guys. I'm actually very happy with it. It's nice. It doesn't have the upfront burst potential of the Nausicaan Energy Torpedo and the Crystalline, which hit a little bit harder up front, but it does have the damage over time effect, which seems to make up for that. Have to do some actual further testing, actually do some ISA parses and everything to see if it really does hold up, in the parses, but I expect that it should. The total damage, unless the targets die too quickly for your dot to take full effect, I could see the damage being a little bit lower than the other energy torpedoes, but otherwise I think it would perform quite well. So yeah, very happy. And the visual effect, it looks really, really good. It actually, in my opinion, looks actually very similar to the Crystalline Energy Torpedo, just a different color, but it has that really neat kind of almost like a plasma cloud, it looks like, when it hits the target. I think that's for the damage over time. And then you've got the really cool contrails coming off the back when you do a torp spread. It looks really, really nice. So fantastic looking torpedo. So yeah, really happy with this torpedo, guys. What can I say? It gets a thumbs up from me. Just like to do a little bit of further testing to see how it holds up in an actual ISA parse. But yeah, definitely I would say pick this up at all costs, because these energy torpedoes are pretty few and far between when we get a chance to get them, other than the Nausicaan one, which is part of an episode. But all the other ones are pretty hard to obtain, so I would say definitely get your hands on this one while you can. And it'd be great on any phaser build. It'd fit right in. So yeah, that's the Agony Phaser Energy Torpedo, guys. I did want to mention, just speaking about the expansion here, I wanted to mention a couple things, because the expansion is actually very close at this point. So before I close the video here, just wanted to talk about some of the upcoming videos I'm planning regarding the expansion. We've gotten actually a lot of news recently coming out. So they did actually, Cryptic just released the official expansion release date is going to be June 5th. That is crazy, guys. That's less than 2 weeks away. So that's getting very, very close. And I will definitely be doing a Let's Play of a Jem'Hadar character. So look forward to that right when the expansion comes out. I'll definitely be checking out the new Jem'Hadar faction. I have to say I'm very disappointed that it appears that the new quote-unquote faction is only one race, one species. So, and Jem'Hadar is it. And so we'll see. I'm not sure how attached I'll be able to get to a Jem'Hadar character. I mean, I'm definitely going to run through the Jem'Hadar content just at least once, just to check it out and play the character. But I'm not sure if, I'll keep that character as an alt, but I'm not sure if that'll be one of my main characters. So that will definitely be coming with the expansion. What I'm actually considering is, if I don't want to play a Jem'Hadar character long term, I'm actually thinking about starting a Cardassian character, because Cardassians are becoming playable with the expansion as well. So definitely looking into maybe actually playing a Cardassian character, which I actually would prefer over a Jem'Hadar. I think Cardassians are just much more interesting. Their race has a little bit more depth and depth to it. Jem'Hadar are such shallow characters in the show, right? They're just genetically engineered warriors, pretty one-dimensional as far as character development, whereas Cardassians do have a little bit of depth. They're pretty ruthless, but they also have, really, they're pretty cunning and devious. So, and they also have really great characters like Garak in the show. So I'd be much more interested in playing that character. So we'll see how that goes. I may do some also gameplay as a Cardassian character. Another thing, I will definitely be picking up the Vanguard Operations Pack bundle, the Mega Bundle. So I'll probably do a video on that as well, checking out all the actual rewards you get from that in-game. You get a bunch of Jem'Hadar ships. They recently added some Jem'Hadar bridge officers to that pack. I want to check those out and be able to show that to everyone, so do a video on that. So a lot of video content coming up for the expansion. We have the whole Gamma Quadrant Battle Zone coming, so yeah, do videos on all of that coming up. One thing I'm not sure about is I haven't heard if there's actually going to be like a Gamma Recruit event. I've heard like kind of rumblings of this, but people on Tribble, what I've been hearing is there's no actual confirmation of this. But what I'm thinking is if there is a Gamma Recruit event, I will definitely do videos on that as well. And that would, if there's a Gamma Recruit event that's going to happen, I will definitely make a Cardassian character and do some videos, because I will want to make an actual Gamma Recruit, you know, check out all the rewards for the Gamma Recruit. I did the same thing back for the Delta Recruits and for the Temporal Recruits, so I do actually rather enjoy those recruitment events, and if there is a Gamma Recruit event, I will absolutely be participating in that and making some videos about it. So yeah, all kinds of good things coming up with the expansion, so very much looking forward to that and bringing those videos to you guys. Even before that, though, in the next week here, though, like I mentioned, there is a bunch of news coming out about this expansion. They just released the stats and everything of all the new ships in the Vanguard pack. They announced some other details about Romulans getting all of their allied ships, and there's been a lot of news lately, and I haven't really had a chance to just create a video and talk about it. And so I think I'll also be doing a video just to catch up on the Victory is Life news, cover all that at least once before the expansion comes out. So get kind of the hype going there, get the excitement going, because I'm still pretty excited about the expansion, even though it looks like, what from some people are saying on Tribble, it is pretty light on the content side. So it might be a little bit disappointed there. There's not that many episodes, the faction. And for me, the biggest disappointment that I'm seeing is that the faction is just the Jem'Hadar race. That's it. No Vorta, no Founders, no even just Gamma Quadrant aliens. What about all the other alien races in the Dominion? The Dominion has tons and tons of member races, for all the races they've conquered in the Gamma Quadrant. So where are all they? So I think that'll be my biggest disappointment, is just having Jem'Hadar as the only race in the Gamma Quadrant. That just doesn't make sense to me. But we'll have to see when the expansion comes out. We'll have to see if it, what the actual content is. And like I said, I'll definitely be covering whatever is there, making videos on it. And if it is disappointing, I will make sure to cover that as well and give my opinion there. So we'll wait and see on that. Now, one thing I did also want to mention, even though it's not necessarily related to Star Trek, but there is something else coming out here very soon that is a little bit exciting, and that is Bless Online. I'm not sure, if any of you are out there, other MMO players other than Star Trek Online. I do actually cover other MMOs on this channel. I have covered, Terra, Blade and Soul, a lot of other MMOs in the past. Checked out Revelation and everything. I do like to at least check out new MMOs when they arrive, Black Desert and everything, and at least give some impressions on it and see if it's actually a worthwhile MMO. And let's face it, guys, at this point, there are so few MMOs coming out at this point. The MMO is a dying genre, and it is very depressing to me because I love MMOs. So whenever a new MMO comes out, it's a pretty rare event at this rate. So particularly in the West. I mean, the West, the MMO market is just utterly dead. I can't think of a single AAA MMO that's Western developed coming out at all, or that's even in development. I mean, there's a few Korean ones that are in development that'll be coming out, but I can't even think of any. I mean, EverQuest Next was canceled. I don't think Air is not a Western developer, right? I believe it's a Korean developer, because that's under Bluehole. And yeah, there's some indie MMOs coming out, but let's face it, guys, the MMO landscape is barren. So even though Bless may be not the most exciting MMO out there, it has a little bit of baggage, having already failed in other regions, but we'll have to see it. Supposedly they've made some improvements for North America. So I definitely want to at least hop in and check it out. So I will be buying one of the founder packs. I'll be checking that out when it comes out, and do a video on that and give some impressions. So just wanted to mention that as well, because that's coming up here in the the next week or so, when that is actually released. That's actually less than a week away. It's actually early next week. It's coming out on Steam. So I'll be checking out Bless Online and doing maybe a video or two on that as well. Here's hoping. I got my fingers crossed that it's not going to be a train wreck like what my.com did to Revelation, which was absolutely unfortunate. I think Revelation could have been a good game. I think the gameplay was pretty solid, but Mine.com pretty much killed that game. Absolutely. With the most terrible half-assed port I've ever seen, with just shoddy translation and just really half-assed. So it's hopefully Bless will fare better than Revelation, if nothing else. All right, guys, so I just want to mention that with the upcoming content, just a lot of exciting things coming out. We got the expansion for Star Trek Online. Bless is coming out, and that's exciting to some degree, although I want to temper my expectations because, I don't know, it's just that it does, like I said, there's some baggage with Bless Online, so we'll have to see if it's actually good or not. But, all right, guys, but that's pretty much what I wanted to cover. So, yeah, lots of good content coming up. I hope you enjoy, and thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.